You are working on the Microsoft Excel 2010 Lesson 5 Term Project 1. In this project, you will be working with formulas and functions in Microsoft Excel 2010. The goal of this project is to help you to be able to learn how to work with formulas and functions in Excel. You will be able to learn to build formulas and apply functions to summarize data in a worksheet. Some of the skills we're going to cover are building formulas, copying formulas, editing formulas, and using various functions. We're also going to use conditional logic in a formula and work with three-dimensional formulas. Step number 1 is to change the name of the totals worksheet to overall average. So we're going to go over to the totals sheet, right-click and rename to overall average. And that's step 1. Step number 2 is to calculate the class averages in cells B7 through J7 on the freshman worksheet. So we need to go to freshman worksheet, scroll up so we can see the spreadsheet, and we need to calculate the class averages from B7 all the way to J7. Let's calculate B7 first by clicking on the arrow next to AutoSum, choosing average, and then making sure that we highlight the areas that we would like the average to be from. Hit enter, and now you have your average. Now we can click on that, grab the fill handle, grab that fill handle, and drag it all the way across to J7. That is step number 2. Step number 3 is we need to copy those same formulas from B7 to J7 from the freshman worksheet over to the sophomore and junior worksheet. So we can just right click and copy, go to the sophomore worksheet, scroll up, right click and paste, go to the junior sheet, scroll up and over, right click and paste, and that is step number 3. Step number 4 says that what we want to do is, in order to prepare for the grades to be entered for your senior year, we want to copy the same formula from the freshman worksheet to the senior worksheet as well. So we'll just go to the senior worksheet and do the same thing. We're going to right click, paste. Now you'll notice that there's nothing there yet because we don't have any grades for your senior year. That is step number 4. Step number 5 is to calculate the semester average in cells K4 through K6 on the freshman worksheet. So we need to go back to the freshman worksheet, go to cell K4, and we need to do a semester average. So once again, we'll click on the AutoSum button, choose average, and we need to highlight the areas that we would like to see an average from. Hit enter, and we can just click that and take the fill handle and drag that down all the way to K6. So that is going to be step number 5. Step number 6 is to copy the formulas to the sophomore, junior, and worksheets as well. So we can just right click and copy, go to sophomore, K4, right click and paste, go to junior, K4, right click and paste again, and finally to the senior worksheet, K4, right click and paste. And that is going to be step number 6. Step number 7 is telling you to enter the row header year average in cell A10. We're going to go to the freshman worksheet for that, go to A10, and type the row header year average. That is all we do for step number 7. Step number 8, we calculate the year average in cell B10. And we want to average the 3 semester averages from the freshman worksheet. So we go once again up to the AutoSum, choose average. This time we want to select the 3 semester averages and click enter. That's step number 8. Step number 9 wants us to format the cell B10 for 2 decimal places. So let's go to the decrease decimal button on the number tab and decrease those decimals until you only have 2. Perfect. So that is step number 9. Step number 10 wants you to copy the information from cells A10 and B10 from the freshman worksheet to the sophomore, junior, and senior worksheets. So we'll right click and copy. Go to sophomore, A10, right click and paste. Junior, A10, right click and paste. Senior, A10, right click and paste. And that is step number 10. Step number 11 is going to use what's called a 3-dimensional formula, where you calculate formulas from different worksheets and put them on another. We're going to calculate the freshman totals from cells B4 through B6 for each semester on the overall average sheet. So we want to look at the overall average sheet, and we want the freshman totals to be from B4 to B6. So the way we do that is we look at the freshman sheet and we determine where are our totals. And we're going to use the semester averages here from K4 to K6. So we go back to the overall average and we click in B4 and we choose the equal sign, freshman, because that's the sheet that it's on, an exclamation point, and then we wanted K4, enter. So now we notice that that is the same as K4 over here. We want to do the same thing for K5 and K6, so we can just drag that down. And then you'll notice up here we've got K5 and K6. Now we need to do the same thing for sophomore, junior, and senior, which is step number 12. So what we will do is we will say equals sophomore, exclamation point, K4, enter, and then we can just highlight that down. For junior, equal junior, exclamation point, K4, and copy it down. Senior equals senior, exclamation point, K4, enter, and drag that down. And remember, there's no information on the senior worksheet yet, and that's why it looks this way. The next step is step number 13, and it asks to calculate the semester average in cells F4 through F6. So we just want to go up to the AutoSum, average, and we want to calculate our average here. Enter. Now it's going to look like this because we don't have the information input yet for senior year, but once we put the numbers in, this will change. That's going to be step number 13. Step number 14 says to calculate the yearly average in cells B7 all the way to E7. So we're going to go back up to the AutoSum function, choose average, that's correct, we hit enter. And we can just drag that all the way across to E7. And that is step number 14. Step number 15 says to enter the row heading in cell A10 current average. So we go to A10, type current average, and that's step number 15. Step number 16 wants us to calculate the current overall average in cell B10 on the overall average worksheet using the information in cells B7 through D7. So we're going to calculate the average, and we want it from B7 through D7. And this will have the current average without our senior year since we don't have any information there yet. and that is step number 16. Step 17 says to format all calculations on the overall average worksheet to appear with 2 decimal places. So what we can do is we can just highlight the whole screen and come up to where the decimal can be decreased or increased. And that's not going to work, so let's choose more number formats and number in 2 decimal places. Click OK, and we should have 2 decimal places now for everything. That is step number 17. Step number 18 is just to save your workbook, and then step 19 is to close Excel and submit your work.